Hello and welcome to Spotlight in Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President and your host for this episode. Today we'll be discussing the Bensenville Ice and Snow Removal Plan with our guest Vince Smith, Operations Superintendent. Vince, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's jump right into it, even though we don't want to talk about winter, but can you tell us a little bit about the pre-planning that goes into each year's winter maintenance?
Absolutely. First off, we need to order our salt. So we start that process in about June. Knowing the supply chain issues that were taking place, we got a little bit ahead of the game on that. So we received that order late September, and we stocked the dome. We have the opportunity to always order another 1,500 tons because that's what we initially order. So we can get that additional 1,500 as needed. And once we got our salt supply secured, we then move on to assessing how things went the year prior, and embracing what we did well and working on what we did wrong. Once we address those issues, we put them into our updated snow and ice manual, and then we prepare for training for the staff for the upcoming year. And then we start to outfit the vehicles because they are all in summer mode right now, so then we want to get them prepared for winter. That includes installing the plow blades on them, putting V-boxes on, saddle tanks for the liquids that we use, and making sure all those things are functioning properly.
So what is the difference between prior winter maintenance to upcoming current season?
Prior winter maintenance to this year, the difference of this year to last year is a significant changeover in staff.
Right.
So this year we're experiencing about a 30% turnover in staff. We had about, I would say, almost 400 years of experience at one point in time. Within the past year, we've gotten that down to about 128 years. With that being said, it is up to me to make sure that I am there to assist the new staff as required, help make sure that they're trained up, and make sure that the senior guys that are in place are assisting the new staff as well. So that's a struggle that we're going to go through, but it is a strong young staff. They're very ambitious, and I think they're up for the challenge.
So the Public Works team, we use like an advanced salt brine technology. What does that mean for the village?
So we do have a salt brine technology, which is cutting edge. We've had it for a few years, and it gives us a leg up opposed to what other communities have to do. A lot of this stuff they have to order through a third party, a vendor. And so supply chain, again, with the way things are going, they may be delayed. We can produce our own liquids in-house. We can produce brine, but we do have to purchase the additional two liquids, which are beet heat and calcium chloride. The brine that we do make in-house is it's a 23% solution of salt with the additive water. So once you put that into solution, we can use that on pavements that are above the temperature of 25. But then we have two additional liquids that we need to use, and that is the beet heat, which is it's a 4-part chloride and 4-part carbohydrate mix. And the chloride helps to fight the salt and ice, or snow and ice, excuse me, and the carbohydrates are actually sugars. They create an adhesive surface on the salt, so once it hits the ground, it doesn't bounce and you're not wasting it. And then that third piece that we put into the tanks are calcium chloride, and that helps so that once temps get below zero, or below, it becomes effective below 25 degrees, but it will work down to zero. And we use those formulas. We could tweak them as needed depending on pavement temperatures.
Get that all out? It's science. So chloride and mixtures and this and that, that's what we do. That's how we make our streets safe. Another question I have to you, what kind of special training to either do the brine mix or the initiatives, our snow and ice program, is there anything special our guys have to go through?
Yes, and in particular this year, especially with new staff being put into place, we really had to make sure that we put a vigorous training schedule together, making sure that everyone understood the snow and ice manual. I mean, this is a pretty large document in place, and it's an evolving document. So we spent a full day just going over that, how things work, what's the expectation of the village, because we did acquire some staff from other towns. We hold ourselves to a very high standard. We want to make sure that that standard is met here as well. So we spent a day going over snow and ice, understanding terminology, what's worked in the past. We put together a obstacle course in the back of Public Works. We are connected with the treatment facility, so we deployed cones in place of cars and just let the new staff and staff that's been here for a while, because it's been 6 months since they've been in a truck again, get familiar and get comfortable back with the vehicle. And then we went over the vehicles, the walk around, what to look for prior to the snow event, and just getting everybody back comfortable with it. We are still continuing to train on every Friday, and we'll continue that until we get deep into the snow season.
So how much snow removal equipment do we own?
We are currently at 29 pieces of equipment. We have 10 routes that we do. We use 5 large dump trucks for the 5 major routes in town, and then we use pickup trucks and 1-tons for the other routes, and then we have snow blowers, hand shovels, and stuff like that to work around the facilities.
How has the village met the newer trends, the newer technologies and initiatives in our snow and ice removal?
So what we did this year, a little different from years past. Training's been rough with COVID over the past year and a half, and then preparing for that. So we were able to reach out to some industry professionals. We brought them in-house. So as we talked about the brine technology we have, we brought a person in from Henderson. They worked with us on those brine technologies, telling us what's a better way to operate the equipment, how to put together proper formulas, where in the past we have been experimenting. It's an evolving process always, but here's where it's cutting edge. And then we brought people out from Certified Power to help calibrate our equipment and teach the guys in-house how to calibrate it so that we're throwing off the proper amount of salt off the spinner. And then also when the auger's working in the rear of the truck to push that salt to the back, the proper amount of salt is being pushed to the spinner itself.
Where can our residents or anybody in general find out more information about our snow removal plan?
You can go to bensenville.il.us and then scroll down to departments. You can then go to Public Works, click on streets, and then there will be snow and ice. Click on that and that'll bring you there.
You got a couple more minutes?
Yes.
Hang out with me?
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Hi there. I want to take you on a journey through a community powered by SeeClickFix. Here, internal operations are streamlined with more intuitive, secure workflows and communications. Here, let me show you how it all works. SeeClickFix organizes, tracks, and manages service requests from everyday citizens through a single application. When they see a problem, a few clicks is all it takes to send off a service request. From there, the right people get the request and get to work. All communication and task management is seamlessly coordinated through the app. Citizens can see the work being done and even receive a follow-up message when the work is completed. It's a team effort all around, and you have the data you need to make better decisions. Cities large and small use SeeClickFix to accomplish more for their citizens with the staff, time, and budget they've already got. Get started today.
SeeClickFix is a tool to report non-emergency issues to City Hall, built to be easy to use for anyone on the go. When you see an issue, take less than a minute to report on SeeClickFix. First, hold the app and press Report. Then, press the camera icon to take a picture or video from the app or your image gallery. After that, the app uses geolocation to capture your exact location, or you can manually choose your location or address using the Map tool. When you press Issue Title, you'll be able to choose from the request types that your local government provides. You'll finish up by including a brief description of the issue, such as where it is, what it looks like, and any other important information to help your local government fix the issue. Then, press Done, and then Submit, and you're ready to go. SeeClickFix, a simple and valuable way to help you build a stronger community.
Welcome back to Spotlight in Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President and your host for this episode. So today we are discussing Bensenville's ice and snow removal plan with our guest, Vince Smith, Operations Superintendent. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Jumping right back into it, how does the village classify its roadways and how is that relevant to the snow removal process?
All right, so we'll go through it. We have, first I'll tell you, we have 4 different classifications on our roadways, and I'm going to give you the level of service in that description of the roadway. So first we have our arterials, and these are the major streets: York, Green, Foster, Jefferson, and Hillside. And the expectation of service for those streets is to be plowed curb to curb with bare pavement 4 to 8 hours after the last snowflake. And then our second classified street is collector streets. These streets lead to the arterial roads. They are the Memorials, Washington, Woods, and Mains. And the expected level of service that we provide is that within the last snowflake, we will have it down to bare pavement and curb to curb 6 to 10 hours. The third classification of the roads is local through roads, which is the rest of the streets in the entire town. And those are to be plowed curb to curb within 12 hours of the last snowflake. Then we got our fourth classification, which is cul-de-sacs and dead ends. And these are to be plowed curb to curb as well, 12 hours of the last snowflake.
So what are the jurisdictional responsibilities of our non-village roadways?
The jurisdictional responsibilities to the south are Grand Avenue, and that is the responsibility of the county. To the east, we have County Line Road, which is a county responsibility as well. And then if you continue north in the east, it's everything north of Irving Park on York Road. That's the responsibility of the county. And then to the north of the city limit is Devon. That's another county responsibility. The far west of the west side of the town is the responsibility of the state, and that's Kingery Highway.
Does the village handle sidewalk snow removal?
Yes, we do. We have 11.6 miles of snow walk that we currently are maintaining in town during a snow and ice event. That we start to get onto sidewalks after about 3 inches of accumulation. We try to make sure that by 8 a.m. in the school zones that we have cleared those sidewalks out.
I know we ordered some new equipment that may or may not arrive this year because of delays, right? With new sidewalk.
Yeah, we're looking at purchasing a new piece of equipment that'll maintain the sidewalks, you provide a higher level of service, and a little more functional for the village.
So who is a snow removal supervisor and what are his or her responsibilities?
Well, currently, that is me. I am in charge of making sure that the operators are trained properly, that I am putting together relevant training at that. I order the salt. I need to make sure that I'm assessing the upcoming event that's taking place. So this way that I can call staff in at the proper time so that we're attacking this at its optimal time. And then ultimately I'm responsible for providing clear roads for motorists and all emergency vehicles at the end of the day.
What are the responsibilities of our operators?
As a professional snowplow operator, safety is the number one priority for these guys. The operator needs to think safely and act safely constantly. The operator needs to make sure that they're competent with the equipment that we have, and that's part of the training that we're going through this year, is making sure that these guys who've never seen a plow truck in their life, aside from on the street, that they're familiar with the controls and how to most effectively operate that equipment. They need to make sure that they're checking all the equipment prior to the storm, so this way we don't get out and we're an hour into it and we have a breakdown. They need to know the route, which is very important as well. That they've been in this town for under a year and they're still trying to memorize the streets. So understanding where the streets are and how you're going to plow those routes specifically, it could be a challenge. And then knowing the limitations. During a salting and snowplow event, it can become extremely long and exhausting for those. So they need to know their limits when to say, hey, enough is enough for me.
So I know my biggest thing is the snow removal. It always has been. So I guess what I'm going to ask this year is kind of be a little patient. Like I said, we have 30% new staff. They're going to be out there working their hardest, but we're going to be on it. So that's kind of, I know that's going to be a little tricky this year for us. I mean, we lost a lot of veteran leadership, but we got a lot of newer guys coming in, stepping up, learning the ropes, doing what they have to do. I love the training that you guys do now, getting into that, but you never know until you really start doing it.
No, absolutely. And you know what? Here it is. What we lack in experience, we have an ambition. These guys are truly professionals. We hired some really good staff members, and I think that they're up for the challenge. I'm up for the challenge. I think that our reputation will continue on as one of the top villages around.
Perfect. So where can the residents find out more about this?
As I said before, you could go to bensenville.il.us and then go to the departments, click on Public Works, go to Streets, and then there will be a snow and ice. You click on there, and that'll take you to where you can get all this information.
Well, thanks for joining us on the show. Thanks for telling everybody what they need to hear. Stay safe out there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time on Spotlight in Bensenville.